Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the world of battle rap. I'm your host, J.Chris. So let's get started. So, just this past weekend, we had Battles of the Bunker presented by King of the Dot. And overall, it was a very good card. You know, the MCs, they came through, they spit what they had to spit. And most of the cards were actually pretty good, except for one. But we gonna definitely get into that later. So, just to give y'all a recap, this is how it went down. So the first matchup we had was Baby J versus Random. And in this matchup, I had Random taking it all the way, 3-0. And that's just basically because, Random had better bars. He felt more comfortable on the stage. I said he had better stage presence. And he just, trumped him throughout the whole battle. So this one was an easy one to call. And, but they both came through and spit spit what they had to spit. But, one was better than the other, like all the way. Next matchup we had was the Deadman versus Marlowe. And honestly, after watching this battle a few times, I had to say I gave it to Marlowe 2-1. You know, I my last prediction blog, I felt like that Marlowe wasn't going to take it, because I thought that he wasn't the same without Shuffle T. But I had to say he was very impressive. He came through with freestyles. He came with a lot of jokes. I mean, like I said before, he would be funny, but he just came with a little better bars in this time, and his delivery was much better than the Dead Man's. And not to take anything from the Dead Man, but like I said, he does have bars, but he just doesn't have that delivery. He just can't really deliver to the crowd. And in this case, I felt like Marlowe did exactly that. He definitely delivered. He had better bars in this case, and just better to present himself better to the crowd. Now, the next matchup that we had was Bender versus Fredo. And in this matchup, I had Bender taking it 2-1. But I felt like in this one, it was very, very tight. For each of them, they just edged each other out in each round that they had. But I felt like Bender took it very, very closely in the third round of the battle. But shout out to the both of them. They did excellent in this card. It was a very, very debatable battle. This one I definitely had to watch over and over just to see who would win this battle, and I had him taking it 2-1. So shout out to Bender, shout out to Fredo. Y'all guys did y'all thing in this battle. So the next match we had was QP versus the Source, and in this battle I had the Source taking it 2-1. I felt like he had a lot of more punchlines. I felt like he had a lot of more haymakers. I felt he had a lot of good rebuttals, and he definitely came with the personals. When it came to the third round of the battle, he really hit QP hard with him being on Maury, the issues with his girlfriend kicking him out of the house, the fact that his girlfriend pulled a gun out on him, the fact that his kids want nothing to do with QP. He really hit him hard in this battle. But QP did his thing. But the only problem with him is that none of his bars were directed at the Source. He could have said those bars to anybody, and I felt that was the problem with QP. He did come with it, but I just felt like he didn't really come enough with it to win the battle. I felt like if his bars were more directed at the Source, I think he would have, taken it. But in this case, he didn't. So I had the Source taking his battle 2-1. Now, the last matchup we had was Big K versus Kotd'S. Now, do you guys remember when I said this? It's hard to choose a winner on this one. I'm honest. I'm like lost on this one. I would have to definitely watch this battle over and over and over again just to see who would win, because it won't be an easy matchup to find a clear winner. Let's just be fair and say that it went way below expectation. You know why? You know how many times I watched that video? Twice. 2 times. That's all it took for me to find out the clear winner for this battle. So, let me just tell you why before you guys get all crazy and shit. So before the battle, they do the coin toss, and Kotd'S wins. So it's Big K's turn to go first. So when Big K started, he kind of started off a little slow, and like maybe towards the end, he came up with his punchlines and haymakers as usual. But when it's Kotd'S' turn, he turns up quickly, just like that, and he does that throughout the whole round. Only problem is Kotd'S went over the time limit, probably about 2 minutes, because each round's supposed to be at least 90 seconds. But for Kotd'S, he went about almost a little bit over 30 seconds. So it was like 2 minutes he was been spitting for. And the timekeeper, which is Malathion, he's about to yell out time, but before Malathion can do that, Big K cuts off the time. He says time. So there's a little conflict right there. It's like Kotd'S got a little bit mad because he felt like he was getting cut off by Big K. But the truth was that he went over the time limit, and before Malathion could actually say time, Big K said time. So it kind of like had a little tiny little confrontation because Kotd'S felt like Big K was cutting him off, and and Big K was kind of emotional, whatever. He's like, oh, don't, I didn't cut off your time. They cut off the time. I'm like, dude, let them handle that shit. You leave that shit alone. Let him get his shit off. So that was the first round. So the third round comes along, and Big K goes first. But he tries to hit him with more punchlines and try to hit him with a few haymakers. But he tried to also go with some personals. But as he was about to mention about Kotd'S being homeless, he just stops, like straight up stops. And it seems like he just choked. He just straight flat out choked. And after that, he cut himself off, and his round was over mad quickly. Then Kotd'S comes on. It's his turn. So he hit him. Like I said, he was consistent. He started hitting him with personals. Kotd'S was talking about how the only reason you aren't king of the dot because you got rejected by URL, and he was really killing him in the third round. So overall, I gave the whole battle to Kotd'S 2-1. Big K could have done a lot better. I've seen better rounds and better battles from Big K. So I definitely had to give Kotd'S this battle 2-1. And that's it. So overall, it was a very good event. I definitely did expect more from the main event. However, shout out to Kotd'S. He definitely did his thing in this battle. And you know what? I'll probably be the first to say it, but I really think that he should be a contender for the King of the Dot chain, to be honest with you. Because whenever he's on King of the Dot, he definitely shows the fuck out. He does his thing. And especially within a small room setting, he's basically almost undefeated. But speaking of the KOTD chain, World Domination's coming up next month. And that is going to be something to be talked about as well. So far, they got 7 matchups, and all of them seem to be good. But we're going to leave that for next month. But until then, I'm J.Chris. Please subscribe or follow me on Twitter at J.Chris365. Thank y'all for watching. Nothing but love for y'all. Peace.